either.
Poppy's up? My God.
It's not a bad Poppy angle, but it's not a standard one either. In that, you know, the Ezreal obviously his shift is a blink, and he can still follow up and
push Gen.G in a better position, largely to do with the Nara on the top side being able to farm very effectively. This bottom lane's also having a decent time as Ruler Arcane shifting forward is dangerous. Duro actually going to pay for it though, as Gumayusi is the one that goes low, and first blood goes to the Nautilus. Keria doesn't have flash. He's likely to go down as well, wanting to take Ruler with him, but he holds the barrier, and despite... Top side, Ruler gets a ward in as he's looking to actually put the pressure on as Keria shows his position. Remember, the Arcane Shift has already happened, but he still has flash. The flash forward from Doran is going to be ended, and Ruler just puts him down!
Oh, it pushes out Guma. And that alone, it looks like it's going to be enough because Chovy can join with his ultimate. They want to respect it.
Yeah, I think having topside control here for Gen.G was enough to be able to grab that for them, as the public execution is, in fact, pretty private there from Doran. Fortunately.
Owner is going to turn
5. As Canyon does hit that level 6 mark, and the Dragon will be going over to Owner, no worries. Of course, this is a composition that does really want to hit level 6 on the side of T1.
So,
but True Shot Barrage now going to get flashed here by Keria. Steadfast Presence as Duro's going to have to flash. Man, he would have died if he had taken that last turret shot. Pretty lucky there for him, as Gen.G really pushed. I think that was almost best case scenario based on the game state right now. So still fine for T1, but 5
go. Not going to commit any further. I think Keria thought perhaps he had an angle there to set up for this is what they're so famous for, is getting everything with just a small advantage on the map. Faker trying to take out a turret here on the bottom side. Get them that turret eventually, and if T1 make a play to try to punish, you're already there to catch them and then take the objective. If they don't go, then you win anyways. And Chovy just holds bottom as long as he can.
Oh, the Fury going to get caught out here as Canyon trying to go untargetable to keep himself alive, but it's getting so difficult. He flashes, he gets over the wall, but the Realm Warp.
It looks like he's not going to show up at all. They're just going to simply give this one up.
Yep. So that's going to be a second Drake going over to Gen.G, the first mountain of the game.
And now they can just drop the Herald since they're all grouped, and they got the Dragon for free to maybe even get this turret. The charge alone won't do it, but they have a lot of members here.
Yeah, and with Ruler able to take these pot shots, get that extra damage with his Sheen. That is going to be the outer turret in the mid lane going down. First turret for Gen.G as well to help extend that gold advantage ever further.
Ooh.
Second charge with the last Skerrick of health. As Faker going to get knocked up. He's in turret range there as well, as he wants to just take down the turret. There it goes. That's what he was looking. He does have a Mega Gnar on the way, but they decide instead of diving, they'll just take the free money.
Yeah, if they leave, then we'll just take the money, and now we see.
Well, speaking of can't see, they don't exactly know where Faker is.
Put himself too far forward here.
Yeah, Duro's going to show up, and Keen was already in position. There's the knockup from the depth charge, and this Rise is not going anywhere. Tries to Realm Warp, but that is not happening. And Gen.G going to use this
teleport when he respawns here.
Oh dear. Keria might be in trouble. He gets smoked by Canyon as Keen wants to hop over that wall, finds the boomerang, and I think that Canyon has the damage. True Shot Barrage comes down, but there's the paranoia to try and save, but also kill as they get on top of Ruler. Ruler is dead to start this off. Doran's flashing away to try and get to safety. Faker is still dead, which is so lucky for Gen.G because otherwise they could have lost the Otacon, and somehow that anchor lands. Doran just trying to survive. He can dash for, you know, about 1 billion miles, but is that enough is the question, as Canyon should have enough damage to take him down, and there it is. Control this area completely. No way for T1 to get in. They're going to give it up. They do see it go down, but there's no way that they can actually change the outcome.
If Keria had ult, maybe.
Oh, Realm Warp, an opportunity here is once again. It's Ruler in trouble, and he'll just get obliterated. This time, Gen.G in an awkward spot. At the same time, heroic entrance, and Duro is still dead. A double knockup, but Chovy's just giving himself up. Owner down low, but they take down the Gargoyle, and T1 say you can take the Dragon. I think it's time for Baron.
Okay, they're going to look for this turret as well. A little bit greedy, not quite able to get it, and some extra damage does go on to Keria. Owner fairly low here, and of course doesn't have his ultimate, but they're going to start this up just the same. Ruler is up in 20. Chovy's so long away from respawning that there's no way he's going to be able to TP, and they just need to have a little bit of defense against Canyon.
Yeah, Keeper's Verdict is going to miss, as now let's see whether they can actually hold on to this. It's so dangerous. Mega Gnar is almost there for Keen. He does get it, but it does not do enough. Canyon gets into the pit, goes untargetable, picks up one, but that is it, and T1 will take the Baron.
Traditional T1 Baron, it's a little risky, but they had them on top of him, and now T1 turned this into Otacon. And they are feeling very good about their chances. Take a gold lead here, and they can push it even further now with an extra res on the back.
Yeah, this is a real turning point in this game. In every sense, to take down this empowered siege minion that's really being frustrating. Winds of War not nearly enough to take that down. And Doran, as we were talking about, just gets to work.
T1 sieging. Having owner on this flank.
Oh, another moment for Ruler, unfortunately, in that mid lane. He's just taken out Keen. Soaks up a lot. We don't really have the withdraws coming in just yet, as I don't know about that one, but still, they dive in. It's a great hook to try and answer, and the Justice Punch is there. The three-man taunt from Chovy, but remember, he's just picking up little bits of 200 gold from T1, who are now breaking open the Gen.G base. Look at that Rebel Baron power play just explode. 5,300 is the number. As Keen, nothing he can do. Doran dashing around. He can go home if he'd like to. Faker in here as well as Canyon, wanting to try and take him down, but the damage has been done, ladies and gentlemen. Happy 12 Faker.
Damage. Canyon has to go untargetable early. Duro has to flash out, and here comes that cross of the members who are in the mid lane just moments before getting that other pick. And Chovy, he does work, but it's not enough, and this might be the beginning of the end of the game.
Wow, this is the first team fight the Ruler's actually been able to play. He does manage to send someone home. Keeper's Verdict gonna get charged up here by Carrier, but does instead decide to cancel it. Okay, we need him to stand near everyone at the same time so that this Nocturne cannot just press R.
It's a valuable ward there for Keen and Ruler.
Oh, Dredgeline going a little bit wide there as Carrier gets in another time, but this time Ruler's able to get out of the way of the public execution. Can he get the damage down? The taunt is fantastic, but Gumayusi gets on top of him. They take down the Nocturne first, so it's Gen.G finding the team fight. Keen gets in, wallops Gumayusi, who cannot get the DPS, and now he's the only man standing. Gen.G find an angle and fight back.
What a beautiful fight from Gen.G, and it's Carrier who starts it off with a knock-up there. Then they look for the follow-up CC. Base in tatters here for Gen.G, but they pick up the soul off of this and will return home to defend this base.
And perhaps that's something worth looking into, but as we can see here, under 2,000 gold, now the lead once again is Owner, possibly caught out. He's got a GA, but he doesn't want to lose that cooldown. True Shot Barrage coming in as Canyon dives on top. They used the Paranoia as well, but now Carrier looking for an angle. Chovy finds a taunt, but only onto one as Doran gets into that backline on top of Ruler, but now he's got friends, now he has backup, and even though Canyon falls down, the carries are left alive, and Ruler gets
on top of these members. You see Carrier so desperately wants this. Chovy just comes in, they taunt him. Doran is a little bit late to come through here, gets on the Ruler alone, but look, there's that shield. Now Chovy has an arm guard, so he can make a lot of plays here. Keen.
They're obviously looking pretty far forward here as the Fear Tether is going to line up onto Duro as underneath the turret they go. Doran is so incredibly low and still ticking down from that bleed, and that is going to be the turret falling. Keen now trying to get himself out of there. Look at that huge shield that he picks up with Hysterics. That's now on cooldown, and he's got the Mountain Soul as well, of course. Inhibitor goes down, just war of attrition here being won by Gen.G. They transition it immediately into this turret. Doran doesn't find the public execution, and True Shot Barrage is going to do so much work. Keen diving on in. I don't know about that one. Heroic Entrance, though, gets Chovy right on top, and they've tried to split up this fight, and Ruler is untouched in the backline. Faker goes golden, but is he going to survive for long enough? He flashes to get a kill onto a Nautilus, but that is not going to change the fates of T1 here. They're looking to try and end it right now, but Carrier says no. He's just getting them out of there. Chovy goes golden. Carrier is likely to die, but Canyon is so incredibly low, and it's in fact Chovy that falls down. These Mystic shots are so dangerous. Gumayusi and Doran both falling to the hands of Ruler, who only has a Nexus turret in his way before game number 3.
Yep. Ruler says, sorry to keep you waiting. I'm back, and you thought you could defend. You thought that was the end of it. Certainly not. Oh, the shot!
Oh, there it is. Gets the snipe onto Carrier. A burger flip here, as you can understand. As Doran looks for Chovy, they kept this one leashed. Paranoia comes in, and they dive in. Owner gets there towards the Dragon, but Chovy is right there waiting for him. It's Duro that takes down Gumayusi to start this off, and Keen wasn't even here. Ruler takes out but the Poppy and the Elder goes down. Faker gonna get eaten by a dragon, and Gen.G, of course they are. They're gonna bring us to a game 3 in this absolutely ludicrous first series between Gen.G and T1 of LCK 2025.
What a banger this series has come to be. We've got one more in the tank. Gen.G, they had great control from the beginning, a massive lead from Ruler, but they had to fight their way back after T1 wrestled control away from them. Such resilience in a best of 3 like this, and they started off